Hey there, planners. Today we're going to be talking about how to take back control of your calendar. If your calendar has gotten out of hand, whether that's a digital calendar or a paper calendar, and you feel like you don't really have control of your time, you may want to consider time blocking, also known as time chunking or calendar blocking. We're going to be talking all about that today and how you can use this technique to be more productive and take back control of your time. So go grab your planners and let's get planning. Whether you're using an analog paper calendar or a digital calendar shared with coworkers or friends or just, a Google Cal for yourself, every now and then it can feel like your calendar is running you versus you running your calendar. And that is a great indication that it's time to do an audit and maybe consider implementing calendar blocking. So calendar blocking, also known as time blocking or time chunking, there's a bunch of different terms for this. It is a productivity technique that involves scheduling specific blocks of time on your calendar for different activities or categories. And it seems pretty straightforward. However, you can run into some hiccups and complexity when you go to set this up. So I hope to help you understand why you would want to do this, what are the benefits of doing this, and how to get started today. Before we dive right in, I do want to welcome those of you who are new to Planning Annie. We are super excited you're here. Here on Planning Annie, we are a group of enthusiasts about our planner systems, being productive, getting things done, having the right elements in place to help us balance work and productivity with joy and fun. And we also love our planning supplies. So journaling and different mixed medias and all the stationery tools, we love those too. So if that sounds like something that you would enjoy, we hope you will consider subscribing and becoming a permanent part of our community. Make sure you check out the comments below this video. There's always a good active discussion going on there, and we invite you to share your ideas, ask questions, answer questions that are down there, and keep the conversation going down in the comments. All right, so time blocking offers several benefits that greatly enhance your productivity and time management skills. It helps you allocate the dedicated time slots to the various commitments, projects, priorities, all those things that you repeatedly have to do, which allows you to be a bit better organized and also be able to focus on certain areas at certain times to be the most productive in your day. So you might be thinking, why would I do this? What is the benefit of doing this? Let me talk through just a few of the benefits for implementing a technique around blocking your time or chunking your time. First of all, you're going to get enhanced focus and concentration. When you allocate dedicated blocks of time to specific tasks, that effort helps you maintain focus and concentration on that task at hand. You eliminate the distractions and interruptions during those specific time blocks, and you can really immerse yourself in the work and achieve a state of flow, which is where we want to be when we want to be the most productive. This is especially true for those activities that require deep work, deep thinking, lots of strategy, sort of creative thinking, definitely going to lead to more productivity. Another reason, a benefit of this technique is being able to efficiently manage your time. So time blocking allows you to gain a better view of your day. So you can actually see, here are the hours that I have in the day, and here's how I need to allocate the time. It enables you to manage your tasks and commitments more effectively because you can see them and exactly how much time they take up. When the time you have and the task that you have to get done remain theoretical, meaning you can't actually see how they're going to lay out, you can often overwhelm yourself by signing up to do too much or being disappointed because you didn't get everything done. When you assign specific time slots to specific activities, you create that structured plan that helps you stay organized and ensure that you're actually giving the task that you need to get done the time that they deserve and need to have. Another benefit of this technique is improved time awareness, and I mentioned this a minute ago. So time blocking creates a visual representation, something you can actually see, put your hands on, really get a high level view of the day for how you're allocating your time. And it makes you more aware of how you're spending your hours, because you have to be realistic. If you are taking a lunch break for 90 minutes every day, then you need to put that in your time block. And that's 90 minutes that you do not have to be responding to, emails or working on a specific project or being at a specific location, because that time's not available to you. It really helps you identify time wasting activities. If you're honest with yourself, areas of inefficiency and overcommitment are going to become very, very obvious when you lay out your time in a time blocking manner on your calendar. And this awareness will help you make the necessary adjustments and optimize how you use your time. All right, another benefit of time blocking is improved prioritization. Time blocking facilitates prioritization because you can now identify and allocate your time to your most important and highest value activities. So when you have more to do than can be done in the hours that you have available, which you now know how many hours you have available because you've laid out all the must-do activities, sleep, lunch, get the kids from school, all of that stuff is laid out. So you can see what time you have left to allocate. Now you can take that time that's left and reserve dedicated blocks for crucial activities, ensuring that you have your top priorities assigned a time block. This really helps prevent procrastination, because when you've assigned yourself a certain time to do a certain activity, it ensures that those important tasks aren't overlooked or ignored or falling to the wayside, because you actually have them in front of you. And if you are choosing to procrastinate, that's a decision that you're making versus just not being able to see what needs to get done. Another benefit of calendar blocking is better work-life balance, because you are consciously scheduling time for the various aspects of your life, such as work and personal tasks. Time blocking improves your ability to incorporate self-care, personal tasks, leisure activities. If it is really important to you to exercise every day for 60 minutes or 30 minutes or 90 minutes or whatever it is, put that on your calendar, because that is important time, and you make sure that you've set time aside for that specific activity. It helps you avoid overworking and neglecting those important personal and self-care commitments by making sure that you've allocated time to those. Another benefit of calendar blocking is increased productivity and efficiency, because providing that structured framework for managing your time improves your ability to minimize the time that you waste on unimportant tasks, indecision, aimless activities where you're not really sure what to do next, and so you just kind of scroll through social media or get lost in unimportant activities. When you have a clear plan and allocated time for each task, you can better use your available time and accomplish what is most important and accomplish more. One of the benefits that I think is most important about calendar blocking for me is reduce stress and overwhelm, because I can actually see how much time I have, and I feel like I have more of a sense of control over how I use the time available to me. And by breaking down my day into those manageable blocks, I'm actually creating a more predictable use of my time. It reduces that feeling that I'm overwhelmed and I have too much to do, or I don't know how I'm going to get it all done, because I go into the week with a very clear plan of exactly how I'm going to use the time. Now, of course, things will come into the time schedule and come into my life that I didn't have blocked in a nice, neat block. And we'll talk about how to deal with that. But I go into the week with more control and a better plan. It also finally improves time estimation, because through the process of time blocking and over time, how I see I've blocked out 60 minutes for this activity, 30 minutes for this activity. If I'm consistently finding that activity is not taking that much time or is taking more time, now I know that I need to block and adjust the time frames that I'm assigning for certain activities, it makes my ability to predict in the future what I can get done much more effective and accurate. And it's easier to plan and allocate for similar tasks in the future. All right, so if you're thinking that calendar blocking might be a tool that could help you get control of your day, prioritize, get things done, take back your calendar, then let me give you just a few simple steps that you might want to consider as you're going into this. It seems like a very simple activity, just throw some blocks on the calendar, but actually when you go into it, it can be a bit complex trying to think about everything that needs to be scheduled and how much time do things take. So let's step through just a few ideas to help you get your arms around how to go into this exercise. So first of all, the first step you need to take is identify your priorities. You want to have your priorities scheduled on your calendar in time blocks in order to get the most out of this. So that's one of the main benefits of calendar blocking, time blocking activities. So start by identifying what are your key priorities, tasks, and activities that you need to do or get accomplished every day. And this can include like work-related items, personal tasks, appointments, meetings, self-care activities, any other commitments. And I would say, think about this holistically. So if having dinner with your family around the table or with your friends once a week is very important to you, then that's a priority task and that needs its own task block. If doing a Bible study in the morning or exercising for 30 minutes every day is very important to you, it needs to have a place on your calendar. So don't just think of it in terms of work-related tasks. Think of it holistically because you're going to get the most benefit out of calendar blocking if you are thinking about your life as a whole, not just a single area of your life. All right, next step, you want to determine the time blocks. So decide on the duration and the frequency of blocks based on the nature and complexity of the priorities that you've identified. So cooking dinner. Is that going to be a 30-minute activity? Is it going to be an hour-long activity? What do you include in that? Is cooking dinner inclusive of cleaning up after dinner? How much time does that take, right? So really ask yourself for each time block, each priority you've identified, does it range from 15 minutes to several hours? What needs to be performed in there? What all does it include? I would also encourage you to think about your energy levels because your energy levels and your concentration, your ability to eliminate distractions may vary throughout the day. So a work task that's happening first thing in the morning versus a family activity that's happening late in the evening or afternoon, your energy level will directly correlate to how long that takes. You may have more energy in the morning and can do things faster than in the evening or the other way around. So just really ask yourself about your energy level. And this is also something you can watch as you go forward, which we'll talk about in a minute. All right, once you've looked at your priorities and you've determined the time blocks, now it's time to schedule them. So take a look at your calendar, whether that be a paper calendar or a digital calendar. You really need to have the hours of the day laid out so you can see all of the hours of the day. I would start by blocking out sleep, right? So the sleep that you're going to need, that you normally have, that you need to be healthy, performing, functioning human being, make sure you block that out first because that's really important. And then start to assign specific time blocks on your calendar for each of the priorities and tasks and activities that you've identified based on the time that you've determined you need. Use the available slots in your day to accommodate all of your priorities, including things like eating, breaks, exercise, all of those important self-care, human required activities. You can use digital tech calendar, paper planner, schedule apps. There's just so many options. I would love to hear from you down in the comments below. If you are calendar blocking or you're thinking about it, what tools are you thinking of using? Paper products, a printed calendar, a Google Calendar, a digital calendar, Outlook calendar, some sort of app. Let me know all of that down in the comments below. All right, you want to be as specific and detailed as possible when you're creating those time blocks. Actually go in and instead of just scheduling a generic time block that says work, specify which project or task you're going to be working on, such as, writing business analysis for project A, right? Like, be specific, get down to the actual activity, because that's really going to help you evaluate at the end, did you complete that activity or not? So you want to get it down to the smallest possible time. Protect your blocks. This is really important. So once you set this up, you need to treat this as somewhat sacred. These are appointments. These aren't just things that ideas or suggestions. You actually need to treat them like assigned time on your calendar and protect them from interruptions and distractions. Minimize or eliminate all the non-essential activities during those designated times to give yourself the best chance to actually accomplish what you set out to accomplish. Now, having said that, it's also really important that you maintain flexibility and adaptability. I'm a type A personality. I know from your comments and discussions with you all, many of you are a type A personality as well, and we are always looking for the silver bullet that is going to make us the most productive. But as we talk about so many times on this channel, life happens, right? And so we have to maintain flexibility and adaptability in order to manage our stress over our schedule. Time blocking provides structure, and that's great. We love structure. But it is essential to remain flexible because unexpected events, urgent tasks, family matters, somebody gets sick, something happens, some sort of emerging activity that requires all of your attention right now. These things are going to happen. So be flexible, rearrange and modify as you see the need to. Maybe just toss it for the week. If it's really going bad and you're having one of those weeks where just nothing is going as planned and a lot of unexpected events are occurring, toss it. Don't stress yourself out by trying to manage to this new tool. Toss it, start over next week and see if there are lessons to learn there, which leads to the final step for setting up your first time calendar blocking. That is to review and evaluate on a regular basis, because you will learn so much at the end of the week by looking back at how it's gone. You're going to look and see, did you use your time effectively? Did you have the right amount of time assigned to each thing? Were those things truly the priority? Or looking back on the week, should there have been other items that you blocked time out for? You can look for patterns. So if in the afternoon you are working slower and not getting things done as quickly as you're getting them done in the morning, that will tell you something about your energy level. It will also help you create a balance between task and commitments and emergent items. So definitely make sure you take the time to reflect every week on how it went. And I recommend time blocking on a weekly basis. You can certainly go further out or do less, but a weekly basis is going to give you that really good point of pause to reflect on how it went before setting up the future. So calendar blocking helps you visualize your day, manage your time efficiently, make sense of structure and organization, which we absolutely love as we are chasing the productivity that we'd like to see in our lives. It allows you to allocate those specific time blocks for essential tasks and things that are most important to us, which include both work and personal, self-care, family, all of those things as well. Really thinking about it holistically. The benefits of time blocking are going to vary from person to person. A lot of it depends on your personality. And, for me, that structure is really, really beneficial. And I've been using calendar blocking as a tool for myself for a very long time. And it's sort of part of my routine, and I really rely on it. It doesn't always go as planned, and I have to always remember to be adaptable and not let not adhering to my calendar blocks stress me out, right? I have to manage expectations there and be realistic. So that's really key. I hope this was beneficial for you. I hope you got some ideas out of it. I would love to hear your comments and questions. For those of you who have been calendar blocking for a while, what are your tips for implementing for someone brand new to it? Please leave all of that down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to Planning Annie for more content like this. And as always, thanks for planning with me.